Is there a way we can deepen our conscious exploration and reach deeper levels of spiritual development and higher levels of awareness in a fraction of the time compared with traditional spiritual practices? Well, here to answer this question is Craig and Mike Emery with their respective genius. Mike is the developer and the channeler of the Merlin's Chamber concept, and Craig is the master composer behind the Merlin's Transpulse tracks. And we're doing a deep dive today into what it is and how we can not take years and years to reach these deepened levels, or high levels of spirituality, but we can do it almost.
Do it immediately instead of taking years.
Yeah.
Pretty much instantaneous. It always is.
So welcome to the Merlin's Chamber Experience podcast, where we talk about all things Merlin's Chamber and Bubble Tech. And I'm joined by my esteemed colleagues and friends, internationally acclaimed film composer and music arranger, BAFTA Award nominee, known for composing movies such as Bend It Like Beckham and Pride and Prejudice, as well as arranging beautiful pieces of music like the Devi Prayer, the 101 Sacred Chants of the Divine Feminine.
108.
Oh yeah, 108 Chants of the Sacred Divine Feminine. And of most significance, and most recently, the Merlin's Transpulse tracks. Craig Pruess. Also, I'll be remiss not to mention, we have our beloved cowboy at Bubble Tech, bearer of the flame of Saint Germain, top 0.1% of authors at academia, the very living embodiment of Merlin, Mike Merlin Emery. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome to the show. And first, I want to take it to Mike. I want to take it to Mike Emery and ask him exactly what is Bubble Tech and its relation to Merlin's Chamber, and what we can expect from the technology and the Merlin's Chamber experience.
Well, the technology ultimately is the savior of the world, because it proves that humans collectively are the Godhead of creation. And as the Godhead, we can change it however we like. All we have to do is get together, get on the same song sheet, collectively, and that will happen. We've proven that beyond any shadow of a doubt. Bubble Tech, over the 9 years we've been running, has done miracles that are unmatched in human history. We saved way over 2 billion animals, innumerable humans, stopped or mitigated a large number of hurricanes, and we're getting better at it. And we got instantaneous miracles happening these days, which is really, it proves that we're working outside of 3D time, and it's the 2D time. It's instantaneous. Well, everything starts in 2D as an image and then manifests in 3D. And it does that every microsecond. There's quite a few operations, electromagnetic operations, that have to occur from the image to the 3D thing being made. And it happens instantly. And so, but because it's outside of time, it starts in the quantum, which there's no time, no linear time in the quantum in the four-sided ethers, till it gets to the hexagonal ethers, and you got toroid production in the ethers. And then you get into linear time and vibrations. There's no vibrations in the quantum except three, because of the three forms of God. And you get down real deep into the four-sided ethers, which we do, right near seed level. The only vibe that can be there is three. It took me a long time to figure out how that worked, but I've got an essay that explains it. And so the bubble is the Anu, A-N-U, first name of God, the Babylonian text, Sumerian text, the Vedas. They've known about it for about 7,000 years by the Hindu Vedas, Vedic teachings. And it's the Higgs boson that they built the world's largest device, the Large Hadron Collider, to look for the Higgs boson, that they already know what is, exactly how it works. Hindu told us a long time ago. You know, we got fake scientists, and we use the Anu because that's how you change things. You change the information in the Anu, and you change the thing. All chemical transmutation of elements goes on all day, every day, in all living things, including humans. Mm-hmm. And my favorite is a crop corn, which will have 10 times more magnesium in it than what's leached out the soil. Excuse me, where did it come from? You do have to answer the question because it's there. And the answer is, the corn knew it needed magnesium, changed the image, quite literally the Anu, around a piece of anything else, iron, whatever, doesn't matter. And so it's all about image management. And so that's what Bubble Tech does. We install images at the seed level of creation in darkness, which is what a capacitance field is. There's no vibrations there other than 3. It's just amazing. It's just flat amazing, what happens. Like my computer, my phone and my computer got a virus here the other day. I asked my Bubble Genie to get rid of him. Bam, done, gone. That happens to people all over the world. That's just normal. But that's because my furnace, went down, and I asked the Bubble Genie to fix it. She did. The furnace man came after a month later. It finally showed up, and he says this thing defies the laws of physics. Yeah, well, so do we. Mm-hmm. So do we. We make the human cell water is structured in the shape of a tetrahedron, which is the shape of the Merlin's chamber. And so the Merlin's chamber is augmenting the shape of the tetrahedron in the water, and tetrahedrons flow light. Light is what flows in a superconductor, not electricity, light, which is photons, non-polar pieces of energy that go through there like real fast. It's instantaneous from one point to another. It's how you do teleportation, which we've already had happen in Bubble Tech using these Merlin chambers. People have achieved teleportation. And we know how to do it. It's only a matter of spending enough time and using what Magik Mike and Craig have put together on this one. Putting enough energy into the Merlin's chamber so that it becomes so euphoric. This is very important, that whenever anybody goes in the chamber, the Merlin chamber experiences is going to be life-changing. You're going to take away all kinds of problems, just like that.
One question I really wanted to ask you, Mark, where did the concept of Merlin's chamber specifically, when was the inspiration? How did it come through?
Well, I was just thinking about that. A long time ago, there was a guy in Georgia, I believe, and he set out, I asked him to set 3 pots out in a field in an equilateral triangle. He did that, and then I asked him to fire them up with violet ray 1, which he had, took a whole lot of extension cord, and he got a violet ray 1 and fired them up. And standing inside of that triangle was like being inside of one of Wilhelm Reich's boxes. And, the blood comes to the surface of the skin, everything goes flush. But amazingly, the temperature inside that triangle was 5 degrees Fahrenheit lower than it was outside, which is natural because the capacitance fields, or especially the chaotic field inside the tetrahedron, expunges vibration, so it heats a vibration. So you can cool things down a lot more than that by intending to do so. There's a guy in California that one summer very clearly reduced the temperature in the valley, the whole valley where he's at, by 30 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. He did that. It's fait accompli, and so that's because he wanted to.
Interesting. Mike, you were talking about the Dr. Wilhelm Reich boxes. In Stroud here we have 4 health food stores, and the gentleman started all this 45 years ago. Is now 92 years old, but I've become good friends with him. And I was telling his grandson, who was at the vitamin shop, about the Merlin's chamber, and he said, "Oh, my granddad, he has one of the original Dr. Wilhelm Reich boxes in his house." It's just about 7 miles from here. And so I saw Ray Hill and I said, "Oh, Ray, I've been really interested in the orgone energy of Dr. Wilhelm Reich." He said, come over. He got all his books out about Dr. Wilhelm Reich, not only books by Wilhelm Reich, but also books about Wilhelm Reich. And then down near his pantry, he had this big box, and I went and sat in it, and I immediately recognized the energy. And then I had Ray Hill over here, and he got in the Merlin's chamber here, and he said, "This is 100 times more powerful." I was such confirmation. It's really amazing. And, he's 92, has all his marbles. He's amazing. He keeps, his sons have now taken running the stores. But he's such a character. He's got that bright spark. Yeah.
And he's my fellow Brummie as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, it's another testament to the orgone energy and its rejuvenation qualities.
You mentioned Ray. His wife Zambodi, I gifted her one of my pine cones, and what she would do every evening was she would hold it in her hands, and she messaged me a few days later saying, "Mike, I'm blown away. All the pain, all the pain I was having in my hands is gone. I don't need to put my cream on anymore, and my hands are just functioning all the more better." I had a lady just a few weeks ago. She had a migraine, and she held the pine cone up to her head, and the migraine was gone. So it's amazing.
Yeah, very good.
All right.
That's what we want. Instantaneous healing. That's what we get. Yeah.
Absolutely right.
So where did the actual tetrahedral design of Merlin's chamber and doing the triple cones, where does that come through in a download, in a channel? Was it pretty instant? Was it that process?
No, it's automatic. That guy did that, and at that point we knew. Now we didn't get onto it further until I started working with the lady in Tucson, Arizona, and she said she wanted to put the tetrahedron in. I said, yeah, absolutely, because at that point I had already, one of my very first essay has about a tetrahedron describes a sphere. And if you have one point of the tetrahedron at the North Pole, the other 3 corners of the tetrahedron will be touching the sphere at 19.5 degrees of latitude. The sign of 19.5 is 1/3. Surprise, surprise. Yeah. And so every orb in this solar system has an anomaly at 19.5 degrees of latitude. The red spot on Jupiter.
The big spot on Jupiter, yeah.
Yeah, the blue dot on people's cells, all human cells. The Saturn has a whole ring of turbulence at 19.5 south, I think it is. And so it's the coordination point whereby you can do as we do, install intentions, and they go right into the chaotic seed level and come popping out as what you expect to see.
We can attest to that, Mike. We can certainly attest to the instantaneous shifts in people. I've now run 5 different events with Merlin's Chamber, 1 in Stroud, 2 in Glastonbury, 1 in London, and 1 in Tintagel. And it's consistent across the board. Like, wow, this is unlike anything I've experienced before. We have people who are very experienced in meditation, other spiritual practices, dance, yoga, all these, and they've been doing it for a long time, and they say this is in a league of its own, completely different to anything we've came across before. See ya.
Brilliant. All right, thank you so much.
Bless all.
Thank you.
Bless to everybody.
Yes, David and B, I really look forward to hosting you again in Merlin's chamber. Can't wait for you to.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Yeah, we can't wait.
And any words to people considering trying out Merlin's chamber?
Just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah, I think it's very, very special. You know, like we said, we've tried these things all over the world, actually.
Yeah.
And this is the one that is really quite profound. It's that synergy of the light, the sound, the vibration, the sacred geometry, everything is unique. I have not experienced that, you know, and I think, like you said earlier, we've tried sound beds and all sorts of pyramid
Loads of
structures
pyramids.
over them.
We got 3 pyramids of our own that you can sit in.
Yeah.
And we've done events where we brought the sound in using gongs and our voices and things like that. Which is great when you've got a room full of people all with intention and everything, and you can bring that sound in to work with those people. But this is a really individual experience. Everybody can just have their own focus and everything, and
their own intention.
But it's really good to do it like that, and it's even more visceral than the way that we work because of the subwoofer literally going through the body, so the whole body is vibrating anyway. We like to try and our intention is that the body vibrates with our sound work. But this
takes it to another level.
You have no choice, you will vibrate.
People are even likening it to DMT experiences, you know, that which is like being born. You come out a born again idiot. All humans are idiots because we have the past, present, future, the entire multiverse encoded into our DNA, and we have intentionally adopted the spoken word to cut us off from all knowing. Intentionally. We did that. We do it even now intentionally. That's idiots. Them's idiots that do that.
And then telepathy happens without speaking, of course.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then the Merlin's chamber clears the karma, you know, because all karma blocks us from achieving higher states of consciousness, you know. And karma, you know, it doesn't make any difference what kind of karma it is, good, bad, or indifferent. It's wrong. You don't want any karma whatsoever, you know, or any memories for that matter. We will get to that point. That's coming with read time. All the memories go away. And then you wind up in the continuously euphoric now. And Merlin's chamber and bubble tech are having that happen, and you can see it coming via the purple skies at night and in the morning, all over the world. Okay.
Oh yeah, I can attest to that, Mike. I've been sending you videos the past few weeks. Sunsets in Cornwall, particularly Tintagel and Camelford, and consistent purplish pink sunsets all around me.
Oh yeah, sunset in Tintagel.
Yeah, there've been some here too in Stroud. Yeah, let me just reel back a bit because a lot of people are probably wondering about the Merlin's chamber. And so I first met Mike 3 years ago, and it was a good friend of ours, a mutual friend that connected us, probably because of our mutual interests. And it was shortly after that, some months after that, that I was gifted 3 triple cones, which are the heart. This is the alchemical heart of the Merlin's chamber. 3 triple cones in a perfect triangle. They're about 19 inches tall, and they're made by alchemical process of crystals, of shungite, of magnetite, of iron oxide in concrete, and 3 layers. So it starts with a central pine cone shape, where you put exotic materials, a little bit of gold dust, ashwagandha, and it creates pressure from the concrete, dries. Then you put that in a bigger cone, and that again, then you start putting the small swarf, little shavings of metal into it with the crystals. And biionized sand is a critical part of making these cones. And then the big one at the end, that these three are nested inside, then create this orgone field.
New Zealand's doing amazing things. He's built 60, 80 triple cones.
Kia ora. Hope everyone's doing well. I just wanted to speak about my experience in the Merkaba with Jason. Every time I go into this beautiful Merkaba, there's always a profound experience, cleansing. The last session I had, which was I think a month ago, I was feeling this heaviness within me and around me. So yeah, went in for around 30 to 40 minutes. And Jason played his sound journey alongside it and did some clearing. Within, the matter of minutes I was in there, there was some, vibrations happening in my body. A lot of light was coming through and a lot of unwanted energy was being released at the same time. After it, I felt super calm, clear, grounded, assertive in my knowing, and really floaty. So it's definitely going to be a ritual I do every 5 months. I'll try and get myself in that Merkaba if possible, and connect with source, connect with myself. And thanks to Jason and his awesome Mahi medicine and this beautiful structure he has created, there's a lot of healing that goes on within, around, and I'm so grateful I have 2 of the cones, and one of them I will be taking on my travels. They definitely make a difference in your surroundings and the energy, and around people in general. It creates that euphoric energy, and I use it a lot. I use the cone in my classes weekly as well. It creates that euphoric breath. Everything's more enhanced, everything's more calm at the same time, and there's that sense of love that connects people even further and further. So this was a short little testimonial just to say the Merkaba is amazing. Jason and his medicine, his Mahi, is profound, and I look forward to what you continue to do with it, brother. Take care. Have a lovely day. Big love.
Now, a lot of you may not know of Dr. Wilhelm Reich's work in the 30s, 40s, and 50s with orgone energy. But Mike has taken this science and knowledge and brought it into the 21st century. We're very grateful to him for this, but his big mind and big understanding has this has been the result. So I was gifted these 3 triple cones. My wife and I put it around our bed, perfect triangle. We measured it out. And for a couple nights, we were dreaming of dolphins, the oceans, just amazing feeling. It's just hard to describe. It was like opening another world. Our son, who was 17 at the time, was hearing us talking, and he said, "Dad," he said, "we could build a Merlin's chamber," which is a tetrahedron. You see, we're sitting in it now, getting the vibe. And so we did it together. We built this Merlin's chamber. We put it on top of the triple cones, and then we electrified it with very low amperage, wattage, but high voltage, 33,000 volts, cycles per second, which really amplifies the orgone field, as Mike Emery says, into a non-capacitance field, 2D field. And so our son slept under this for 2 months. And then he finally said to me, he came to me and said, Dad, this is a bit too powerful. Could we bring it downstairs? So we set it up next to my grand piano. And Mike had been telling me it's an intention amplifier. Of course it is, because when you take your intentions into the 2D field, they manifest. Out of space and time. 2D means not 3D with linear time. 2D is out of space and time. It's a place where composers get their inspiration. See, a composer won't sit there, da, 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 da. No, it's one moment. Bang! All the parts come at once. And many artists have that, many writers. I know Mike with the scientific writing, Magik Mike having this concept to make the Merlin Chamber experience. And this is amazing. So he had been telling me this, so I thought, okay, I'm going to go down to the Merlin's Chamber today and make a real intention. I said, I have years of making music, lots of experience, working on films, creating CDs, arranging for Oscar-winning composers, lots and lots of experience, experimental electronics. And I just made this wish. I said, use me as an instrument of the divine will. So what happened that night? Bang! I had the download. The download came. I saw all the parts, everything. I quickly went into my home studio. I recorded all the parts. My wife came and said, wow, that's different kind of music. I said, well, that was just my download. I asked for it. I got it. And luckily, I have the experience and the coordination to take the subtlest download and process it and pretty much get 100% what I originally cognized, as the download. And I remember sending it to Mike, and Mike and I were discussing different styles, and he said, another one, do 333 beats per minute. I went, wow, that's really fast. I loaded that up, did it, and I realized it's like the jala in the Indian raga, or it's ska music, both. And this euphoria is in those numbers of 333. Mike later maybe can talk about the significance of 333, 333, but it created a whole piece of music. It was just so euphoric. These pieces started coming. Mike suggested one for levitation. So I'm convinced that we get 9 people in a Merlin's Chamber and play this piece of music, that someone in the middle will slowly lift off. So we will report back to you.
I'll put my hands up for that. So I'm at the front of the queue for levitation.
So what happened that I decided to just put these on YouTube, and I call them Merlin's Transpulse music, these pieces,
Or Merlin's Transpulse tracks.
Yeah, Merlin's Transpulse tracks, which is, and I ended up with a suite of 7. And I had a call a year ago with a lovely Birmingham voice saying, Greg, you don't know me from Adam, but I have this idea. I've been using your music in my Merlin's Chamber. Now, Mike has built a really even bigger Merlin's Chamber than this. And he was using my music. And he said, we should bring this out into the world so other people can experience this, because this is something special. And I said, well, what do you have in mind? I was getting to know Mike a bit just in this first conversation. He said, well, we can have subwoofer, where the low frequency really gets big. We can wire under our chairs the coil that makes the vibration go through your body. We'll get 2 good sets of speakers. And I thought about it. I thought, wow, this is great. And I called a friend of mine who lived locally, had a studio in the back of his garden. He's a musician. He's also a frequency researcher. And he was guiding me how to align these frequencies, not just A432, but in the frequencies that black holes vibrate, which is B flat 4660.8. And I've been recording in these frequencies and found them extremely powerful. So we set up we spent about a day, total day, setting up, calibrating everything. And through our friends' network and my network, we had 42 people over 3 days come for these sessions. And it was set up with full intention that they would come in, be well looked after. I took them on a guided meditation and then slowly brought the music forward. And this is when we realized we were really onto something extremely powerful. And the people's transformation, their experiences, you know, young guys turning to us and saying, this is better than DMT, you know, it's just, what confirmation is that, you know? And people with health problems came, reported even next day. We set up a WhatsApp group, and they were reporting back to us, and real progress in whatever ailments they have. Relationship problems, new business ideas, creativity. It was amazing. So we took quite a pure intention. With Mike's help, he inspired me. We structured it, and now we have a roadshow where we take it on the road. Mike hires a van. We have 2 big studio speakers, sound really good. Mike has an amazing big subwoofer. It's quite an experience, and it all started with the knowledge that Mike Emery has to create a non-capacitance field, a 2D field. And I experienced a miracle of that music coming through me. So I'm an acolyte. I'm an enthusiast purely because of this, but also it's been great to share my envisioned music in this process.
Yeah, and I think we all kind of have this undercurrent or this feeling of there's something meant for me in this lifetime. We all have this kind of vision, you know, maybe something big's meant for me, and I was always searching for this. And it kind of happened over a 5-year period from when I was in Ecuador in 2019 until I contacted you in 2014. Really beginning with a visit to a chiropractor in Ecuador. So we just got done with the treatment. I stood outside of his property, and there was this really odd looking contraption. And to look at it, it was nothing spectacular. It was just a flower pot filled with concrete and a copper pipe sticking out of it. I kind of sense, you know, there's probably more to it than, you know, it just being a, you know, like a garden gnome. So I asked, you know, well, what's that? And he said, it's an organ bulb. And I said, a what? And he goes, an organ bulb. I was like, okay, well, where'd you buy them? In my naivety. And he said, no, you don't buy them, you make them. I was like, okay, well, where should I go for information? And he said, look up a guy called Mike Emery. So I did. About a month after I returned to the UK, and I watched a video. I still remember it to this day. It was on YouTube with a lady called Sandra DeRoy, and they were breaking down how to build a piece, and it made absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. I was like, I have no idea what this guy's talking about, but I was hooked. I was like, you know, I'm just going to dedicate myself to this knowledge, and if it clicks, it clicks. If not, so be it. And fast forward 3 years from Ecuador, I'm actually sitting in the car with Mike, 6,000 miles away from when I first heard about him, going to this conference in Pusey.
In Wiltshire.
Yeah, in Wiltshire, about 20 minutes drive from the Apiary Stones. And we had the prototype for Merlin's chamber. And, you know, it was a little bit haphazard, you know, we were kind of trying to, like, get all the corner bits taped, and, you know, we didn't have, like, a firm plan there, but there was something to this, you know, the energy Mike was bringing to the room and the tetrahedral design of Merlin's chamber. And I went away and I thought, I've really got to do something with this. So after a year of research, getting all the materials together, periods of procrastination and resistance, finally I had my own Merlin's chamber in a pretty sleek design, and it's been paradigm shattering. You know, it really does like shift everything at such a deep and profound level. And it was around this time I built the chamber. Mike, our cowboy, he was emailing me with all these tracks from this guy called Craig. I was like, man, his transport tracks that are moving me in ways that I've never experienced before. And there's something about this music, it's not just your nice, pleasant, meditation music you might hear on YouTube or what have you. There was just something that was sort of moving me at a soul level. And the combination of the chamber and the music was like, after about a year of experimenting, I thought, I can't just sit on this. I can't just, just at home. Yeah, great for me. I really got to, take it out there and share it with the world. And
been a fantastic experience. And working together as a team, checking in with Mike that we're doing it right. And it's created a lot of magic. That's all we can say. So we call it the Merlin's Chamber Experience because that's what it is. There was the Merlin's Chamber that gave me the downloads for the music. And then when I met Mike and he had this vision of how to create a real sonic experience. So it amplifies it. I was blown away. I was so happy to hear my pieces like in this really rich environment of sub-frequencies and up your spine kind of thing. And it was great. A lot of the pieces are raga based. Now it's very interesting that ragas, it's almost like it's an analogy for life. In ragas, you have a continuous note, the root note. We call it sa in Sanskrit. Sa. And from there, you have all the notes of the raga, but in perfect relationship to the unchanging note. A bit like Irish music, a bit like the modal music. But this creates a kind of a centeredness. And so all my Merlin's transpulse pieces naturally took the form of these kind of modern ragas, but, with unusual electronic orchestration, some real Western symphonic arrangements too. It had everything in there, some Irish jigs, and also a lot of shamanic transpulse drums. It was all came all downloaded and doing this. So it's been fantastic with Mike's input and the colleagues we've met who really helped to manifest this vision we've had. And I think it's quite life-changing, and we realize it's something quite revolutionary that we're doing. And thanks, Mike, for all that inspiration, because, even we were trying to do a continuous 3 within 3 within 3 within 3 nested piece of music, and I keep sending drafts to Mike. Yeah, you go, okay, no, little bit, no, the bass is too much, and we kept going back and forth, and then I got it, and it creates a kind of 33 minutes continuous music sheet that you can play subliminally, and it's like putting on an air purifier. It creates coherence in the atmosphere. And this is something else. So, been fantastic in interfacing with a scientist, really, of this incredible cosmic proportions.
Yeah. Yeah, Merlin appears to be the most advanced spiritual physicist that's ever been. That's ridiculous, but verifiable. I've answered every major question in all the sciences, and there's proof of that. And done miracles that are unmatched in human history. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. And then Craig, he was great. Craig, stop making music. This is a trance track. had to get him to stop making music, but we finally got it down. It trains dogs, and the purpose of the trance track is to quite literally entrain nature, because we need to change the music of nature. The music of creation doesn't work. We're still in a skid market, so we got to change it, And if it was more harmonious and a little better beat, you can't have a skid mark. So we'll do that. And that was the purpose of the trance track.
Yeah,
but
it's a particular kind of music that Mike inspired me to make. It's not the usual kind of tuneful entertaining. It's engraving, entraining the instruments into the human nervous system, but in the context of the organic field, so this is what's unique about the whole thing, really. And this is what people go away with when, we had half-hour sessions, we had crystal ball healers, vocalists, tabla players, we had dancers, we had shamanic people, we had Reiki healers, all come in, half hour, 43 people over 3 days. And I was responsible for sitting them down, getting to relax, doing a bit of very quick yoga nidra where they relax and then turn the music on. And then 5-10 minutes after, just to chill, what is your experience? And I didn't need to eat, I didn't need to drink anything. I was like in this flow all day. They would leave the Merlin's chamber, Mike would videotape them, we'd get all the details. We realized that first couple days that we were really doing something revolutionary, really. That's the only way I can say.
Yeah, and the question for me on this spiritual journey really has been, is there a way to explore consciousness and reach higher levels of awareness in a way that's effortless and in a fraction of the time it would take with...
Imagine you're taking a train journey and you're sitting next to an accountant and he's just talking about his work all the time and really, really bored, and the journey seems to take 5 hours. And then you take the same train journey, you're sitting next to a beautiful woman and she's absolutely captivating, and it seems like the journey takes 3 minutes, and that's relativity.
Yeah, there you go.
I thought that was beautiful.
Exactly, yeah. And I think Merlin's chamber was very much the equivalent of the captivating beautiful woman.
Of course it was.
Compared with traditional methods. It's all great, you hear about the yogis and sitting on the edge of a mountain for 20 years and, humming and doing the kundalini so their brain explodes. And I thought, well, that's all kind of great, but it seems like a lot of work. And B, it seems to take a lot of time. So, there's a way we can sort of fast track our ascension and spiritual development in a way that requires a lot less effort. And I kind of liken the Merlin's chamber experience to AI. So, what before would have taken like half an hour to write out an email, just a quick prompt and boom, there it is. It's kind of like the fast track AI version of spiritual development.
But there's nothing AI in the music or anything, because it comes right from my development in my life of my heart and music and my musical journey. All that it needed was the interface with someone like Mike, someone like Magik Mike, and that really helped coalesce this impact. It's AI in terms of it's quick, right? It's easy, right? But it's very human. That's the thing. Very, very human. And at the heart of it here, and this is what I love about Mike Emery, he's so human. He laughs his butt off all the time. And he's got that childlike innocence that is so great. And all of that is embodied in this energy of the Merlins. We're sitting in this Merlin's energy field right now, speaking to you. And I have to tell you, it is transformational. Really. Transformed my life so many amazing ways.
Yeah, and it's very much user-defined as well, the Merlin's chamber experience. So in some cases, people have this deepening somatic experience. They really get into their bodies more. Some people completely check out, and
astral travel, go off and great journeys.
Yeah. Some people get visions and colors and lights and creativity. Some people are just very blissed out. Other people have the dark night of the soul. It really does sort of start to
churn up.
Churn up the shadows and really sort of start to work out so iron out all that kind of, as Mike would put it, karma, or the repressed stuff starts to come up. It's all for the better.
Yeah, and for growth.
Yeah,
that's right. It can stir up all the mud from the bottom of the lake.
And this is really good music. It's kind of good for taking you on a journey kind of into yourself, into those deeper, perhaps darker parts. The subconscious.
Yes.
Not just kind of being all up here. It's like inviting you right down and in.
Precisely, yeah. And there is the light and the dark. And as my mentor, Mike Emery, who taught me all about Merlin's chamber and orgone technology, as he would put it, Merlin learnt more from the darkness than he ever did from the light and fluffy side.
Nothing negative can survive in an organic field.
Right.
Nothing negative. And we see that, in that all the bad, if you put a bubble anywhere, and all the bad bugs leave, flies, mosquitoes, cockroaches, all the bad bugs, and mice and rats, and bad people to a certain extent, and all the good bugs come around, bees and dragonflies and butterflies and ladybugs, they come around, and all the bad bugs leave. And it's because the orgone energy is euphoric, and that euphoria supplants the duality of fear first, God herself, fear, and then God herself, her love. It supplants both of those. And so in beings that are fearful, the fear starts leaving their body. It's like being in a microwave for them. They have to leave. And in fact, we have seen rats and mice sacrifice themselves because they couldn't get away fast enough. And then we we got a really good charge on an entire hospital one time. All the cops were out of there in 5 minutes. They were gone. And the next day, the hospital was damn near empty. And a lot of people got healed up and went home.
Yeah. There are a lot of big implications for society that we want to apply the Merlin's chambers and make big ones and even put them over cities.
Well, but what you guys, the really important thing about what you guys have going on is that it doesn't matter who you are. You're going to have the experience, period.
Yeah, I can really attest to that, Mike, because I've estimated roughly around 100 participants so far over 5 events, and across the board it's like, there's not been one that's sort of been like indifferent, it's okay. It's either like, wow, I had the most magical of experiences, or like, I can't hack this, this is way too much, and it's just pulling them out their own self-induced.
Yeah, there was that lady who just had an auto accident. She didn't tell us 3 days earlier, and she said it was the most excruciating experience I had, but I feel great now.
My chest has felt really tight for a few days. I was in a car accident on Friday, so I very much came here to try and let my energy field drop and my nervous system to reset. And this is the first time that I've really felt a calmness since it happened on Friday. So I'm really grateful.
It purged out whatever wasn't in the flow, Yeah.
Yeah, it really does recalibrate the nervous system.
Yeah. So really, we're looking for people that have a good space. Mike's Merlin's chamber needs about a 7-foot, 8-foot ceiling.
8 foot.
Yeah, and a good room, good size room. At least maybe 25 foot by 25 foot. And that you can put the volume up so you're not going to disturb neighbors. And it's a sacred space. So we have another room where people come and wait their turn, and they're made to feel welcome. And also people can share experiences from their session. And 2 rooms like this. And it's really good to have like at a healing center or even a meditation center. It's also good. It could even be in a church hall. But the main thing is there's no disturbance and that people can really have what's a protected experience, you know, where they feel they're wrapped in music and sound and there's no distraction. So if people are interested in this energy and sharing it with their friends, also, we're really looking for people that have a network of like-minded healers, Reiki people, crystal ball people, etc., yoga teachers. And there are a lot of people around that have groups, and we'd like to invite them for their first session so they can go back to their groups and say, no, this is something really, really special. And I'm going to host it next week. Please come Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And they can come and really, really get that charge. So, yeah, we really would like to share this experience with everybody. It is really something amazing. I think Mike would love to do it full time, be looked after, be housed, be fed, and just do this all the time. And I'm fully behind him. It's this beautiful vision for doing it. I think Mike Emery and I both share that. You know, it's great to see someone really taking the mantle and taking responsibility. You can do it.
Yeah. Gentlemen, really, I really want to sort of just bring this back to simplicity. So obviously it's great, you know, with the science of the music, Mike, all the physics knowledge you've imparted on us this evening. Really, we've got people that, you know, they know absolutely nothing about bubble tech, Merlin's chamber. What would be a sort of a beginner's guide? You know, what is in it for those who are new to it? You know, what can they expect? Over to you.
A DMT trip, that's what they can expect. Here today, gone to Maui.
And a journey to explore your deeper layers, you know, this is the thing. Because, you know, I take you and I say, okay, observe your breath, take another nice deep breaths, feel the weight of your body, completely relax your body, and then let the sound wash over you. So a lot of people get so busy, they don't even know what's going on in their body. They don't even know what's going on with their breath or their emotions or their thoughts. And you just take people to their inner core and then give them coherent vibration and bliss. And
I had a feeling that this place would resonate with me, and resonance is all about what this chamber's about. That deep connection, the ability to be able to go to an altered state through the sound, the frequency, the vibration, and through your guidance. You're taking us to a deeper place, feeling the softness, feeling safe and even vulnerable, but empowered. I found it a very magical experience.
Oh, yeah, in a word, magical. Yeah, that's really what we're going for here, is a magical experience, and that deep level of relaxation is the feedback I'm getting more and more. You know, it's like, oh, I'm really going to that deep place where I can just relax into it, feel empowered, but also, there's a vulnerability, but there's an empowerment as well. So it's the power of vulnerability, essentially, is what I'm hearing.
Really, it's, as Mike Emery says, it's euphoria. Euphoria is the key. It takes you out of the duality of even fear, even love. It really gives something extremely powerful.
Life-changing.
Yeah. And I think all of them in their own way have had life-changing experiences. Some more subtle, others quite dramatic, others in all different kinds of ways, because we're all different people, and we all need different things at different times. But it's been pretty universally acclaimed.
I really think, for me, Merlin's chamber plays a big part in it. It sort of lays the foundation for so many things, or it accelerates the process.
Can be a catalyst for change.
Yeah, it's a catalyst, and also it acts as an acceleration, which it has in my case. You know, in my case, a lot of the, unhelpful behaviours that have been persistent for years have slowly started to just fall by the wayside, and just like, oh, whoa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I come alive just sharing. Even talking about like we are now, I just feel it's like it's something so beautiful, something so powerful. And I'm really happy to be involved with this. I thank you, gentlemen, so much for your colleagueship. And we can take this further. And we would like to be in touch with people, like-minded people. And we'd like to invite any of you watching this video to come and just try a session. There'll be sessions in Tintagel and Glastonbury, probably another one in London and Stroud. Could be any place where you are, too. You know, you could have given an invitation, pay the expenses for Mike for the van hire and accommodation for him to come and set up the Merlin's chamber. It's about an 8-hour setup time to calibrate the room, get all the sound, everything. But it's really something worth it.
I just wanted to talk about us as Hydro Sapiens.
So we are bodies of water. 99% of our bodies are molecules of water.
And all of our water is shaped, it's structured and shaped with tetrahedrons. Kind of like, excuse me.
Precisely. So with Merlin's chamber being a tetrahedron, we're mirroring our body of water. And Mike, can you explain about the superconducting fields and the resonance that happens within the body inside of Merlin's?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Superconductivity is the light of life. It's non-polar energy. The field inside of a tetrahedron is in these Merlin chambers, non-polar, which is chaotic. It's not structured in there. We add structure to the outside, which is like an impetus. It's like a dynamic electrostatic field. Electrostatic is a capacitance field. And it's dynamic in that you're putting life force energy in there. And that life force energy, even though it's being converted to chaotic and unstructured, that's how everything comes about. Is from darkness. That's Edgar Cayce. You know, I'm a little bit ahead of him too. You can look that up. Now, the consciousness begins. One of my essays. Edgar Cayce explains that it starts in darkness and that it's chaotic there. Well, I knew that a long time and have it more accurately described. That and that consciousness begins. You know, and so superconductivity. You get enough superconducting energy flowing in anything, it levitates. Hmm. And so, because not because it breaks gravity, simply because it comes in harmony with the 2D ethers where there isn't any gravity. Yeah. And I've done it 1,000 times. I've levitated Lisi 1,000 times and helped a lot of other people do it. And we've done it a few times in Merlin's chambers, but we're going to do it a lot. We need more people. You need to have like preferably 5, 7, 9 people around the Merlin's chamber doing the meditation and the breathing, and you're going to have people levitating very, very quickly. It can be even the first time. It happens real quick. You know, I've done it 1,000 times. When we first started doing a similar thing in Reno, Nevada 30 years ago, we got levitation very quickly. And we had one guy like Wayne Dyer or somebody came, you know, and he go in the middle and everybody's breathing and sending energy into the middle. He said it's like the hands of 1,000 masters on him. It just buzzing. And it's the experience in the Merlin's chamber, and this what I'm talking about is beyond anything anybody has ever told you about. We're trying to tell you now, but you have to do it. It's DIY, you know, get yourself into it.
Yeah.
Levitation parties. Levitation parties coming. Yeah. So Craig, there's also one thing I want to talk about, my daily practice, which is triple G. So the triple G is grounding, gratitude, and bubble genie dancing. So the grounding refers to being barefoot on the earth, really allowing the discharge of all the positive ions from our system and resetting everything. The gratitude, is really just being in the moment, profoundly in the moment, and just appreciating everything that is with me, all the blessings of my life. And the bubble genie dancing is from the bubble genie track you composed, and really dancing to that really gets me in that kind of playful, euphoric, childlike mood, and it's just a triple whammy, the triple G. So I really love to, obviously the story about the bubble genie track, and
right. This was the 333 that I was explaining, and there was this an idea that Mike planted because these pieces were coming and manifesting, and then Mike was saying, record something in 333, and I'm thinking, well, that's 333 beats per minute. It's just dot 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 dot. And I'm going, what do I do? What do I do with that? And then I did load it up into my system, but I cut it in half, so it was 166.5 beats per minute. But instead of dot 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 dot. All right, that's 333 beats per minute. That's 167.5, 166.5. That's the ska rhythm. And I discovered this. Of course, Mike also told me that he had seen a great band in East London called Skanks some years ago. And all the guys were hopping up and down in complete euphoria in this. And it's also similar to the Indian raga, which is at the end of a raga, like this, threes within threes. And I loaded this up, and it just, that night, I went to bed hearing these cycles of threes with everything. I woke up the next morning, and it just all came. It all came as the bubble genie dance. And I tried it. I finished recording it. I tried it because I bounced on a trampoline every morning, and I did a bit of crazy dance, and I started laughing. I started flailing my arms around like a kid, hopping around, going like crazy, and started laughing. I said, this works. This is it.
Yeah, you're still doing it.
It still does it. It never tires, but it's tapping into a certain energy. And okay, it has some basis in numerology and beats and everything, but the rest is human. What makes young kids in clubs hop up and down in complete abandon euphoria? It's astounding.
An important point is that euphoria is a human emotion, has nothing to do with herself. Herself had to adopt it to save her. To save herself, to get herself out of fear and love, both of which are problems, neither of which work, as is obvious. Yeah, I hate to say that, because you got all these fluffhead loveniks that don't want to toggle to the fact that emotions can evolve. Okay, those two obviously don't work. They've been around for billions of years. We're still in a skid mark.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Well, euphoria takes one beyond out of that realm. It is beyond the opposites, really.
Well, I was like last night about euphoria, and I basically described it as love without the bullshit. That's one way to put it. Love without the bullshit. It's got all the good qualities of love, but without all the the kind of exchange mentality of the currency, using it as a currency. I love you. Do you love me back, baby?
Yeah. But it transcends that kind of love, the kind of bartering aspect of love, and just becomes that pure euphoria where you just feel one with everything. It's way beyond emotion. Actually, it's like a knowing that you're connected, and that life is one big party. Really, that's all.
So a point about the healing aspect of it, okay,
Yeah.
is that bubble tech does age regression on everybody. That's kind of a step up on healing, you know?
Yeah.
Which means that everything gets healed.
Yeah, do you hear that age regression?
Yeah.
I'm 76, guys.
Okay.
76.
So this year I turned 75.
Mm.
And I'm doing the best music in my life. I feel so amazed about everything that's happening. I have that enthusiasm like I have in my 20s and 30s. So I feel that's a great gift. It's a great gift because I have all these years of experience. And for a musician and composer, that really is key to enrich your genre, you enrich your output, not just the genres you're doing, but it's to make something of real substance that will last. And I'm very grateful. So yeah, this age regression stuff is the real deal, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Everybody does it. It happens to everybody. It's automatic in the field. And the reason is, and this is Oak Ridge National Laboratories, you know, the big deal, you know, they found that the coherent energy, any coherent energy, increases glycine production in the body by as much as 30-fold, was that 3,000% or something like that? You know, you know, and it's just due to the coherent energy. Glycine is the building block of proteins. And amazingly, even though it's a hydrocarbon, glycine is nonpolar. That's a head scratcher, but it is. You know? There's other things like that, you know, like C60, you know, buckyballs, 60 carbon atoms, which are highly polarized. But in C60, it's nonpolar. Now, what? How's that work? But anyway, nonpolar energy is where it's at, you know, and what that does is it melts limiting beliefs, melts all beliefs, but especially limiting ones, negative ones. It just melts them right out your body. That's why everybody starts getting along better. They forget about all the shit about one another, you know, and Merlin's chamber does that, you know, automatically.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that. I feel that all the time. I'm so grateful to that. It's amazing.
Yeah, and really what I wanted to get to, guys, is somebody, you know, who's read the Tao Te Ching, or Lao Tzu, the Book of How, and also studied the work of a nuclear physicist called Feldenkrais, who developed the body awareness through movement system, is they always talk about working with the body, you know, being in flow, or what Lao Tzu would call wu wei. You don't resist the flow, you don't work against what the body's trying to do. And that's very much the same case with Merlin's chamber. You know? All of the technology and the science behind the music is in symphony with the nervous system. For example, with Feldenkrais, with people with scoliosis, you know, curvature of the spine, they actually go further into that curvature instead of trying to straighten it out. And because that's what the body's trying to do, it's curving this way, and so they actually exaggerate that, and the body just naturally recalibrates. So yeah, so we are really working in harmony with the nervous system and our designs in order to get it to work optimally. So you know what Mike was saying about, you know, the tetrahedral shape of the chamber mirrors the tetrahedral shape of the body's cells.
Yeah.
So that mirroring effect is what really brings resonance to everything. Yeah. And allows the lights and the superconducting field to flow through us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I would say the same with being a musician and composer. You know, your vibration, your approach to life will become your music, because that's what you're expressing. You know, so it's like having an angry peace activist. You know, it doesn't work. You know, you've got to first. You know, and this is why the Merlin's Chamber has been so important for my music output, because it created these waves of euphoria and it naturally found expression, you know. So everything you're saying, Mike, is absolutely, this is totally in line with the effortless flow. It's never been a chore for me doing any of this. We occasionally have to unload the van and you do a bit of work with heavy equipment, but that's, you know, hey, that keeps you in shape. So yeah, no, but it's all, and this is what I love about Mike Emery. He's always in the flow and giggling, seeing the hilarity of life. I think this is key. If you can really laugh your ass off about the ridiculousness of life and how people get so caught up in problems, and you just live euphoria and you just come out of it. It's wonderful, wonderful.
Well, it is Idiotsville. You know, that's what we got here.
Well, to your point, Mike. The funniest thing I've noticed since I built my Merlin chamber is it's so much more seamless to step into the observer self. So how do you know you're thinking? Well, something's observing you thinking. So this idea that actually there's the sort of the I, the me, and then there's that kind of part of you that's actually viewing you. And sort of stepping into that observer role became so seamless after Merlin's chamber. It's like I'm sort of looking at myself. You're acting like an idiot. You're being an idiot, and you still carry on regardless. Just carry on, Mike.
All self-awareness. Good man.
And the cool thing is that in spirit, surprise is supreme. And it cannot be logical. So us idiots win again.
That's right. And also when you become aware of something, you're halfway out of it. That's really, really so important. You see people so stuck in the drama of their life. They've created this whole reality. Gets back to Mike Emery's. We create everything around us. So all the bad stuff people complain about, all the bad stuff going on in the world and everything. Hey, all of that exists in the collective consciousness of mankind and has been perpetuated by the collective consciousness of mankind. It's time.
Just by looking at it. Just by looking at it.
Yeah, and the way we're going to change the movie is bring euphoria.
Yeah, that's automatic. Euphoria will supplant duality. That's the amazing thing is when duality goes away, so does polarity. When polarity goes away, then there's no more decay. And so everything lives forever. That's coming. That we'll see that in our lifetime. Everybody and everything will live forever.
Yeah, and the more people come to this understanding now, the faster the change is going to come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the more people we got making miracles, the bigger the miracles become, and the more pronounced. And the more instantaneous. It's like mind-boggling.
Yeah, I think we're all into miracles. Yeah, definitely.
Well, it comes down to, we've coined the term Imagineering. So Imagineering is the amalgamation of the words image and engineering. So we are engineering the image. And to use an analogy, and Mike, you might want to fine-tune this a little bit for me, but it's kind of like an old film projector reel. So, you've got these, the negatives, and as they sort of like move along the projector, there's a sort of blink, it sort of goes dark, and then the image comes through, and it blinks in and out. So basically, we are sort of almost like curating these negatives on a sort of like the old camera negatives. We're creating that image, right in the gap, and then bringing it into the manifest reality. So, Mike, I'm sure you can fine tune that explanation a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. It's correct. Exactly what you say. Imagineering means we put images in the gap, and then those images get made manifest in our 3D reality. They come out of 2D into 3D. And that's exactly correct what you said. That's what we do. And the really cool way we've got it now, and Craig can demonstrate this for you, and that is that we get the idea, we get the vision that we want to have in our brain, and then we do humming. And the hums have the beats in between the beats and null zone, and that's the gap. And by installing that image, Imagineering, in the gaps where you hum, it gets installed in the gaps of the ethers. And the next thing you know, you got a new keg of beer or whatever it is you want.
Yeah, but the manifestation will happen even before you do the manifestation process, because
that happens too. Yeah,
because the act of really manifesting means you're out of space and time.
Right.
So therefore, you even think about doing it, and then it'll come even before you purposely manifest.
Yeah, I feel like the default for earthly individuals is to exist in that, like I say, monkey mind state, and spiritual progression, spiritual journey is just reducing the distance to that Buddha nature, to use quite a specific term. Because enlightenment isn't like I think there's a temptation, particularly for Westerners, to treat it like a meritocratic thing. But if I meditate really hard, I'll be enlightened, and if I graft on it, but it's instant.
Exactly.
The agricultural revolution took thousands of years, the industrial revolution took hundreds of years, the technological revolution took decades, but the revolution of consciousness happens instantly.
We're out of lineal time.
Yeah.
You got cyclical time, in the ethers.
Yeah. But people are stuck in linear time and thinking about things in linear time. But we have a whole new paradigm of way of thinking with this non-polar field, non-capacitance field, and the euphoria that it's creating. It creates different ways, of manifestation. So it is real, and I've experienced it with this music output that made Mike call me.
Well, we've been doing this for 9 years. There's lots of people who experienced it.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, guys, we've been probably talking about an hour now, and I still have no clue what Mike's talking about. I have no clue what Craig's talking about. When I say no, don't know what they're talking about. So, really what I'm trying to say is, you don't need to be a music arranger and composer. You don't need to know all the all the terminology and all the lingo, and you certainly don't need to be a physicist to really reap the benefits of the Merlin's chamber experience and the Merlin's transport tracks. It's very
you gotta be willing to do Imagineering.
Yeah, so it's that willingness, bringing your own will and intent and your creativity to the table. So
that's a good point. Very good point.
It's user-directed technology.
Yeah.
The more we give it, the more it's going to mirror back our power and our creativity and our magic. And that's really all I'm here for. I'm not, here to be a music composer or a physicist. It's really I'm just a synthesizer, and
he's an activator.
Synthesizer, activator, alchemist, and taking these wonderful teachings and bringing them together.
You see the light changing in my thing. We change when we're talking like this. It changes. It's been going on all during this. The light's changing in here. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's normal. And the one thing, we don't want to talk about physics, but there is a blink rate to everything. And it all blinks in and blinks out every microsecond. Everything is here one half of the time, and then the other half we get to think that it's reality. But the real reality is in the gap, and then the gap is where everything is. The past, present, future of everything, is in the gap, and you can access it. And we have access to it, but we use the spoken word, which cuts us off from that. Indexes to lineal time and cuts us off from that. And we maintain using the spoken word by peer pressure. We got idiots, Bill.
Yeah. Well, mind the gap. Mind the gap. And, really, like, for those unfamiliar with Mike, and when he says, Idiotsville, or refers to, us as idiots, it is probably the biggest term of endearment you can possibly receive. So it's not really actually intended as an insult. It's just a reality check.
It's meant someone so full of euphoria that they don't know what to do, what they're doing, or anything. They're just an idiot.
like a little kid, just nothing but fun.
Exactly. And it is, don't worry about what other people think about them. They're too busy being an idiot. and it's the euphoria. It just fills you up, and yeah, it's
Yeah, every time you think you know something, you're wrong.
yeah, exactly. And that's the beauty.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Everything having to do with our reality is bogus. And the more you let go of it, the more you actually know what's going on.
The only way to be.
Ultimately, Merlin's chamber, it's here to bring humanity forward, and as a all-encompassing solution to pull us out of this manifest reality, this mess. For me, most things are half measures. You have your activism, politics, all of this stuff. All these systems of the world are actually half measures. They're actually sort of. It's almost like they're designed to fail anyway. They're never going to pull us out of this.
There's only one solution: euphoria.
Well, yeah, euphoria, but telepathy and teleportation are freedom for humans.
Yeah.
And we're doing that. Yeah, we are doing that. And via Merlin's chamber, we can impose it on people, the entire population.
Yeah.
Merlin's chamber has got a little ways further to go.
Yeah, but probably better than impose it, we can activate it in people. Their true birth.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, did you drop back?
True birthright, if euphoria and telepathy, levitation, all these things are our birthright. Actually, humans, their original blueprint included all these things. It's just we've been shut down by a very concerted collective imagineering, and now we're changing it.
And people are having spontaneous out-of-body experiences in the Merlin chamber, just like that. Yeah. In seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. I also feel there's a bit of a kind of far awayness. I feel a little bit spaced out, like, I don't feel quite as here on this earth.
Yeah.
I do feel like I've slightly gone whoop up. I'm not quite as in my body. Yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's another one I'm getting as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the outer body experiences.
Okay.
I really want to hone in on the testimonies, 70, maybe 80 testimonies, and I've got to put it into a reel. It plays out like a movie. These such exuberant and enthusiastic testimonies, like I entered this like completely different zone. This conscious transformation just happening in such a short period. It doesn't matter how many times I see people come through. It never ceases to amaze me how quick and efficient it is at getting people really into that deep level of conscious exploration and just having these magical shifts. And Salika, how was it for you?
Well, I'm still reeling. Yeah, it was incredible. And I set quite a personal intention. I've got a lot of stuff going on at the moment. But then as soon as it kind of kicked in, I was like, whoa! It became much more sort of global and expansive. And it had an almost instantaneous effect. In fact, I don't know if it started with some of the deep tones even before. Anyway, I could sort of feel them somehow, and it was just a feeling, a very powerful emotional response. Like I just wanted to burst into tears, and sort of some tears coming, in a very joyful way, paradoxically. But it was like but joy in like a different dimension, and what was coming to me was like, this is what the world should be like. This is, rather than all this fighting and anger and blah, 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 and stress and strain, this is what it's about. This somehow is really the energy from the orgone and the frequencies are really amplifying that energy of this is what it should be. So it's like wow, and then I said, oh,
I need to ramp up my attention a bit. So then I was also calling in Yeshua and Mary Magdalena and then it was I kind of did that consciously, but then a lot of it was just like, wow. And then I was thinking like, oh wow, all the world leaders should be strapped into the chairs here and have this, because it's kind of irresistible. It just moves through you, and the music is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Craig. It's absolutely beautiful, and yeah, it's incredibly heart opening, and it's in such a short space of time.
Yeah, it's pure heart music.
So really, that frequency is just throughout.
I second that.
Yeah.
Pure heart music.
Yeah. So just such a really, really powerful, beautiful experience, and I'd love to experience more, and I would highly recommend that everyone experiences this, and that this becomes, part of society. It's like in schools, in hospitals, everywhere.
But you should get here before they're gone.
This will be around quite some time. Don't worry. Yeah, but thank you so much for both of you. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing.
I can feel it tingling in my nose now. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, and just very strong experiences of like opening. My crown chakra was like, sort of like peeling off me. It felt, and sort of being sort of brought up at the beginning, and then as the music kind of came down, it's sort of like being sort of gently sort of released and then coming down again. So just very beautifully held, just very, very strong. Thank you.
Fantastic. And considering it was about a 20-minute experience,
really?
20 minutes there, about 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You fit out there. There was a lot of transformation, a lot of shifts, and a lot of experience packed into that 15, 20 minutes.
The more pragmatic day-to-day things had gone away. I was able to get to a deeper space, and there was like an access point to sort of creativity coming from a higher aspect, where there was journey vibration and that sort of shower of sound, and also shower of the way that the prana was basically moving. And then I was then able to then be quite creative in the last part of it, and then coming out of it, there was a lot of stillness rather than stimulation, and that was quite surprising, and it's still very pleasant. So because of all the vibration, I expected to be more stimulated, but there was more stillness, and I think that's what came. And near the end, in that shower, the stillness was able to present itself.
Sitting in that extraordinary chamber was something else. It was really, really beautiful. Actually, it was just incredibly powerful. And that energy, that thing that's been around for me a while and not really knowing necessarily where to direct it. I have several outsources that I do. That whole thing just expanded. And it felt like I was just being held. And like an activation.
Wow.
And I cannot express how deeply grateful I am for what you were doing, because this is a place for us. That peace. It was that sense of we have somewhere where we can go and have that level of experience. And therefore, each one of us that has had that, we're constantly building that up, and that frequency is continuing to expand and build up, and that's what we're putting out there.
I would add to that even some people that I know, colleagues, come, and I was amazed at the depth they were explaining their experiences, and I went, wow, these people have been, something deep has been activated in them, and these are people I've known for years. That was a real treat.
All right, and so we have Sven with us. and he's just experienced the Merlin's Chamber experience in Glastonbury. And well, from what I hear, you had a very strong vision of an emerald light. I'd like to know more about that.
Well, I've got like those 7 flames which kind of represent my sole purpose on fire, and they were completely emerald green, shining. I've never seen the flames like that. So, yeah, what an experience. I'm sure there's some kind of reason behind them turning green, but to what I witnessed right there, like together with my whole story, pure alchemy, like literally alchemically green flames. I'm sure some people know what green flames symbolize, but I don't. But this was pure magic.
Okay, so welcome to Merlin's Chamber, and I am joined by Crystal Will.
Yeah.
I'm Magik Mike, and I've been very generously gifted a Merlinite crystal, which I'm completely flattered about.
Felt a good gift to give to you.
No, it really does feel good. It's lighting me up. And I want to thank you for entrusting me with the Merlin's Chamber process, and I'd love to get your thoughts on your experience with it.
I had a feeling that this place would resonate with me, and resonance, that deep connection, the ability to be able to go to an altered state through the sound, the frequency, the vibration, and through your guidance. You're taking us to a deeper place, feeling the softness, feeling safe and even vulnerable, but empowered. I found it a very magical experience.
Oh, yeah, in a word, magical. Yeah, that's really what we're going for here, is a magical experience, and that deep level of relaxation is the feedback I'm getting more and more. It's like, I'm really going to that deep place where I can just relax into it, feel empowered, but also, there's a vulnerability, but there's an empowerment as well. So it's the power of vulnerability, essentially is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I definitely, it felt to me that it was a sort of divine meeting with spirit in a very safe place. When you get to certain wavelengths with frequency, with sound, with vibration, you get to such a relaxed state that when you take something in there with you, you feel in a much better balanced state to be able to deal with these things.
I've been working a lot with my nervous system, and it's like very, very sensitive. So it's amazing to have such a quick change as well, to go from, I feel like I was meant to be stressed, right?
So now you got contrast.
Yeah.
You could really understand.
Yeah.
But sensitivity is also strength.
Yes.
But you need a lot of work to align it and work out ways that you can, stay positive, because you'll be very sensitive to other people's energy fields.
Yeah.
So therefore, just be careful of the people you spend time with.
This is what I'm doing, and I feel like I'm just...
So I'm joined by the lovely Pruess in London, and we've just been through the Merlin's Chamber experience. How was it, Pruess?
Well, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I felt really enlightened, I would say, and really light. I felt that I reached a peak and did a lot of releasing. And a lot of hurt that was coming out as well. So I did cry, but it was just but I just felt it release. So although I was crying, I felt lighter.
Mm-hmm.
And initially it was like all purple light. And then the vibration, I thought, actually I was like, somebody was lifting me up.
Oh.
when the vibration got really, I felt somebody was like, because I always feel protected anyway. So I said, just let go, just let go, just feel it, just feel it. Yeah, and then I just wanted to, you know, because I was in this, at one point I wanted to get up and just dance.
Wow.
But I didn't, because we were so close together. I don't know, you know, but I just was in that moment, and it's on a spiritual basis. It's almost like you've reached that top. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, and that's quite the journey. You went, you know, the ebbs and flows of emotion.
There was a lot, yeah.
So really feeling into that, you know, more, shall we say, tricky territory, and that stuff that's been maybe, you know, pushed down and repressed, all of a sudden letting that go, and all of a sudden, woo, take off.
Yeah, it felt like that. It felt like that. Mm-hmm. It was. So I feel good now. I'm just going through the emotions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's quite the journey for 20 minutes. So
I know. Just allowing it, you know. Mm-hmm. What do they say? You know, you have to, what is it? Let go and let God, you know, be God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all about reclaiming that God-likeness within you that exists in every cell of your body, and just embodying that God-like power.
It is powerful. It's very powerful. It is, because we have the power, and we don't realize sometimes we have so much power within us.
Well, certainly, and that's what the Merlin's Chamber experience is all about, is embodying that power.
Mm. So now I can do anything I want to.
Yeah, take off. Levitate.
Take off. Thank you.
And because you know, nothing is more satisfying than being a part of someone else's transformation. Mm-hmm. What is better than that? What is better? You know, sharing euphoria. Nothing's better than that.
You know, and we're activating it in people. That's all we're doing. You know, we're facilitating the process. Really, and as I like to say, you know, I'm not a guru. I'm not a coach. I'm not a trainer. I'm not a, you know, any of it.
He's Magik Mike.
I'm Magik Mike. I'm here to simply facilitate the process of people uncovering their own inner magic.
Yeah, like that lady you guys had that she was on her deathbed, and you canceled that process just like that, snap, you know, just like that. You guys set up and did that.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't Craig. It was a friend in Glastonbury. Mm-hmm. We had the triple cone set up. We were really just, and this is really about, you know, if you just focus your intention, you know, focus your intentions, focus your mind. I really think the Merlin's Chamber just brings energy to it. You know, it amplifies your natural abilities.
Definitely.
Amplify the natural abilities. We can get into the science and all of that. But to put it simply, it just augments what you already have.
Yep.
It's amazing, you know, and it really does activate the God-likeness within us. You know, as Jesus will put it, you will do works greater than I. And I really think we're heading in that direction. And what did you say to me last night, Mike? For you, had not speak ye gods. Basically, this idea. What was that passage?
No, well, it's in the Bible, of course. Yeah, is it not written, "Ye are all gods"? Ye are all gods.
Yeah. This idea.
So this is bringing that out.
Mm-hmm. We are the as you put it, Mike, the Godheads of creation. You know, we are steering the ship of consciousness. Really bringing front this manifest reality, and it was spoken about in the CIA Gateway experiment. You know, this idea there is actually no such thing as a purely concrete, solid, physical matter, physical reality. It's all subject to a level of conscious input.
Yeah, the uncertainty principle in physics also said, you know, it's the observer that will change the observed. You couldn't really locate a particle if you were measuring it. The process changed the position of the particle. So that became part of physics I think in 1920s. It's a measurement theory of physics, but also Heisenberg. So yeah, we are central players, and our Imagineering is central to the creation of this world, and euphoria is the answer for the next step of human evolution.
It started before that. You know what the very first subatomic experiment is? It's Young's double slit experiment. And ultimately they found that consciousness affects the results of the double slit experiment. Whether you watch it or not. Yeah.
Wow.
And then that got mirrored into CERN back in the 20s, like you say. That's why we had Heisenberg and Schrodinger's, Schrodinger's cat. I love that one.
Yeah.
The problem was that the physicists were getting physical proof that supported diametrically opposed series, so their science wasn't working. In other words, one guy does an experiment, writes it down, another guy does the exact same experiment, supposed to get the same result. They didn't. And it went on and on and on like that. And then finally they said, okay, well, we'll put the photographic plates, which is how they observe their reactions back, subatomic reactions back in those days. We'll put the photographic plates on either side of the reaction and expose them simultaneously. They did, and they got physical evidence supporting diametrically opposed series. So then they put the photographic plates both on the same side of the experiment. Same thing happened. So it is that the consciousness of the physicist, which is real obvious in 2D, which is where we work when our Imagineering and humming. Only those guys weren't humming; they might have been. They expected a certain outcome and they got their wish.
Yeah.
That's the same. That's the same with all of science and all of everything. You ever notice that scientists almost always find what they're looking for?
Yeah.
You guys, hello, wake you up.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, it's essentially like it's like an ask the mouth feed. You basically just feeding your own shit back to you. So yeah, whatever you want to manifest into this reality, well you can, because it's bubble tech and Merlin's chamber. It's user directed, so it's our capacity to manifest and our power to Imagineer, build the images of the world around us. It's that power we have innate within us to. That's what really we're taking ownership of that, and it's been amplified and strengthened by the capacitance field of bubble tech and Merlin's chamber.
Absolutely, this is great.
The vibrations of Merlin's cave, which you're going to extract, dear Craig, are going to fit Merlin's chamber like a glove. Wow. Alchemically destined, done.
Okay.
There we have it. See,
you have it. Yeah.
I've seen it happening as I sat here and everything went through.
Okay.
Oh, so yeah, it's done.
I'll load it up in my studio.
I consider it done, literally.
Yeah. I always say, when I set an intention, that is my euphoric will and intent, so be it. So it is.
Yeah.
It is done.
It is done.
There we go. Well, we are speeding up the manifestation process into the physical realm, and there you have it, folks. We're going to have Merlin's cave bass music.
That's right.
A bass created by the walls of Merlin's cave for Merlin's chamber. That's as alchemically, magically.
This has been great. So, yeah, any of you watching this may get inspired. Host the Merlin's Chamber, 3 days, we recommend. And come.
Or build your own.
But to begin with, come for your own experience. It's amazing to be part of it. You'll see amazing transformation.
It would just, obviously the momentum's building. It's building and building, building and building.
Starting out.
Yeah.
And this is going to get big. And yeah, come join our effort. It'd be great to have you.
Yeah, it would be the avalanche.
Yeah. And thanks very much, Mike, for joining us and sharing. Mike's a fountain of incredible insights. And I want to thank personally Mike for activating and really taking to heart my music concept and really expanding it with this idea of the Merlin's Transpulse, Merlin's chamber experience, using the Merlin's Transpulse music. So, yeah, hope to see you soon.
I'm profoundly grateful. I'm profoundly grateful for you, Mike, for all the guidance and really taking me on.
Changing your life.
Yeah. I'm profoundly grateful for you. I really don't know what I'd do without Merlin's Chamber and Bubble Tech. So, Mike, thank you for your mentorship. It's been, and really introducing me to Merlin's Chamber back in Pusey 3 years ago. So that was wonderful. Great. Thank you for nurturing my process for the past 6 months, particularly. Being so generous with your knowledge and time, and sitting me down and. Give me the support I need when I needed it. So, I can't think of a better way to really birth Merlin's Chamber to the world than the way it's happened.
Yeah, it's been magic.
Being under your tutelage and support. So, thank you so much.
And that's also helped by this field we're sitting in right now.
Yeah.
Merlin's last name is Emery's. It's like what?
Yeah.
Okay.
And guys, blessings, euphoric blessings to everybody. And as always, keep creating the magic.